Hey, what is good, my friends? It is I, Traj, back with some more Overwatch 2 content. As you guys know, June 28th, Overwatch 2 launched its closed beta. So for anybody who signed up, you may have gotten an invite, you may have not, or if you pre-ordered the game, then you have automatic access to the beta. However, this is not the first time Overwatch 2 allowed its beta to be played. So back in the end of April, about 2 months ago, was the first time you could play the beta. And the game felt even a little different then than it does now. So there's a few patch notes I just wanted to take you guys through, some of the changes from the first beta to now. And it'll be a quick video, just going to kind of scan through these. So for now, you can finally play Junker Queen. It's a new hero that was added, so she's a new tank. She's actually beefy as hell. The thing is, she doesn't look like a tank. Like Zarya, Roadhog, they look like some beefcake tanks. But Junker Queen, she looks like no different than a DPS out there. So it took me a little while to adjust to that. I would challenge her as if she was DPS and just keep shooting her. And she has way too much armor and health. So definitely watch out if you're fighting Junker Queens. But you can now access her. Again, she is a tank. We got new hero looks, so all heroes have new Overwatch 2 exclusive looks. You can select Classic 2 from the skin select screen in the hero gallery to check them out. We have a dynamic rendering scale. They updated the features for push. So push is a new game mode in Overwatch 2. It's really cool. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Originally it was going to be 8 minutes, but they've now pushed that to 10 minutes. And I'm going to constantly update you guys on changes that are made within the game. So any bugs or patch updates, I'll be sure to fill you guys in there. So we got a new ping system. So Symmetra is now able to ping her teleporters for her allies, and it now has a unique ping VO and visuals when pinging sleeping enemies. So that way, you can alert your team, hey, I got a sleeping Junkrat back here, let's kill him. So a lot of unique pings. This also places a unique type of unmoving last seen ping. I don't know what that means, so we'll keep reading. Ping visual update. So I'm not going to go through this entire ping update, but it appears that they optimize the pinging a lot. I did notice, I play on controller on PC, so this might not appeal to a bunch of you guys, or affect you guys, I should say. But the pings, it did feel a little more stiff than from Overwatch 1. I know on Overwatch 1, the pinging wheel was really easy to access. For now, on Overwatch 2, it was harder to ping I need heals, or say hello, or thanks, all those things I like doing. It was harder to use those, so I gotta double check that. But by the looks of this, they made a lot of changes to the ping system. I'm sure they'll continue to do so based on the feedback. The scoreboard. So the game scoreboard has been updated in multiple ways. So completely reorganized the layout. Oh, so this is actually really cool. I do enjoy this, so I can just speak firsthand on this instead of reading it. Before there was always medals, right? So gold medal for, best amount of kills, most damage. You get gold for most heals. And it was a little toxic because you would, be getting countered. Someone would say switch, and someone would say, I have all the golds. What are you doing? You switch, So it was a way to make people very entitled, to not switching or to not being a good teammate. Also, it was hard to see who was really not carrying their weight, because there was no scoreboard. It was just your teammates. You could just see your teammates, and you could also see your own medals, whether it was gold, silver, bronze, or nothing. But now, you can put people on blast. If you're getting dominated, it's going to be clear as day that your Widow is not helping. It shows everyone's DPS, it shows everyone's kills, and it shows everyone's deaths. So no more medals, just kills, deaths, it shows heals, all that stuff. So it's easy to tell who's doing what. And I really like this feature. I think it'll be a lot easier to be able to decide who needs to switch. Especially as a Pharah main. As a DPS player, if we're not winning, it's automatically the DPS's fault. And even furthermore, it's always the Pharah's fault. Whereas now, I can just say, look at the scoreboard, this McCree has a third of my damage, you're focusing on the wrong thing. So I'm super excited for that. So the scoreboard looks a lot cleaner. I'm really happy with this. The sound. So soundscapes are now mixed for surround sound, Xbox, Overwatch now supports. So it sounds like just some subtle device add-ons that are now more compatible with Overwatch, which is cool. I will say the sounds were definitely a lot more soothing. Overwatch and Overwatch 2 are very similar. However, there's little things, the sounds, the visuals, and I mean, I'm comparing it a bit to like Madden, or NBA 2K, where they release new games all the time, but they feel a little bit more polished, and that's what Overwatch 2 is. It's not a complete revamp of the game. The 5v5 is wild, that's really different, but so they've added some lighting for all the different maps. You can play a lot of maps at night, at morning, all that good stuff. So a lot of lighting here. They've added some deathmatch changes. I don't play deathmatch too much. I mostly wanted to focus on the changes within the the characters. So again, this is not the changes from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. This is the changes from the first beta 2 months ago to now's beta. So just to give you an idea what's changed since, if something feels a little different, or just so you can, stay ahead of the game and see, what's already being nerfed, what's being buffed, what you should utilize. So Reinhardt, his armor was reduced from 350 to 300, and health increased from 300 to 325. So that's interesting because it kind of will balance each other out there. Winston, projector health reduced from 800 to 700, so his barrier must have been really strong before, and ultimate costs increased by 10%. So Winston was nerfed across the board as far as within the beta. Diva, mech armor increased from 200 to 300, mech health decreased from 450 to 350, so likely will counter each other. Doomfist, so Doomfist is a tank now. So again, these are only the changes. I'm going to do a video from Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2. This is within the beta though. So Doomfist no longer slows enemy with seismic slam, and damage reduction reduced from 90 to 80. So again, he was nerfed, but keep in mind he's now a tank. So his damage, he has more health, all that good stuff. Orisa, dude, Orisa feels really, really strong. Before I even read this off, because I haven't even read this yet, during the beta, Orisa, I would say, was one of the hardest characters. In my, I played it for the first day, just the other day when it released, and Orisa was just beefy, dude, just not easy to take down. So let's read through this. Damage increased from 10 to 12 for augmented fusion driver. Projectile size no longer scales with distance. Projectile initial size reduced from 0.3 to 0.1. Critical damage increased from 50 to 100. Damage fall off reduced from 70 to 50. Maximum fall off range reduced from 1530 to 1525. So yeah, there's a lot of little buffs and a lot of little nerfs within here, but overall, I'm telling you, she's beefy. Let's see what they did to Fortify. 20% movement speed penalty removed, headshot immunity removed. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Javelin spin, so cooldown decreased from 10 to 7, speed boost reduced from 65% to 40%, and knockback increased. Yes, it does. That knockback is brutal now. Energy javelin, dude, Orisa's got a bunch of shit going on. They're really trying to figure her out. Impact damage reduced from 80 to 60. Cooldown increased from 6.5 to 8. Then we got the Terra Surge. Max damage increased from 275 to 500. That's nearly double. Jesus Christ. Damage begins to ramp after the old 200 damage timing. This is just a lot going on, so I'm going to summarize it. Orisa's beefier. Alright, let's go to Bastion. Again, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bastion now in Overwatch 1, his ultimate, obviously, he would go in a tank and start shooting rockets and stuff. That's now one of his abilities. I'll do another video going into what his new ult is and stuff, but again, that's one of his abilities. So Bastion got a big change. It's very similar to what they did to Mercy, where Mercy's ultimate used to be rezzing her whole team, but now her ability is just rezzing one person. So now it's similar with Bastion. He turns into that tank. It's not as strong, but it's interesting. When he turns into his little tank and starts shooting rockets, in the middle of a game, you're like, what the hell, Bastion? You got your ult? Nope, it's just his new ability. So his tactical grenade, what I was just talking about, reduced from 10 to 8. So I guess before it was a little too OP. We got Cassidy. Combat roll now grants 50% damage reduction for its 0.4 second duration. What? 50% damage reduction for its 0.4 second duration. So when he combat rolls, he takes 50% less damage. That's crazy. Unless he does 50% less damage, that would make sense. So he takes 50% less damage. So that's a huge buff for our boy, I was about to say McCree, but that's no longer his name, Cassidy. So Junkrat, Steel Trap fully locks movement again. Projectile speed increased from 10 to 15. Projectile size increased from 0.2 to 0.25. So Junkrat was just buffed across the board since the first beta. Farah, rocket launcher, let's see. Reload starts 0.25 seconds sooner when out of ammo, so she's going to reload quicker. And Concussive Blast deals 30 damage and deals additional knockback on direct hits. So this is really interesting because her Concussive Blast before was always a way to just boop enemies off the map or to get yourself out of a sticky situation, because Farah's not the most mobile, so relying on your Concussive Blast was crucial. But now it does 30 damage and deals additional knockback on direct hits. So if you direct hit, they're booping real far, but it does 30 damage also. That's really interesting. So you can actually, if you need to reload but they're one shot, you can pull out, hit them with your Concussive Blast, hit them with your ability, and they're dead. On top of that, Farah is a bit harder to shoot now than in Overwatch 1, but again, that's a separate video. Symmetra, holy shit, this is a lot. So her primary fire, max ammo increased, no longer generates ammo when damaging barriers. Her secondary, projectile speed increased from 25 to 50, so doubled. Max damage was reduced though, so a bit of a buff on the damage. Ammo costs increased from 7 to 10, so it's going to cost you more for her secondary, but it's going to do more damage. No, it's less damage. It's going to be faster though. Charge time increased from 1 to 1.2 seconds. Yeah, so buff on Symmetra so far. Build time reduced from 2 to 1, so teleporters are faster. Now has a maximum lifetime of 10 seconds. Oh, so it's gonna disappear quicker, the portal. Cooldown increased from 10 to 16 seconds, so she's not getting it as much. There we go. So big Symmetra buffs across the board. I'm sorry, nerfs, which we like to see. Health reduced from 300 to 200, so the teleporter has less health. Her sentry turrets, her speed has increased from 15 to 20. Maybe I spoke too soon. Movement speed reduction on targets reduced from 20% per turret to 15%. That's just a lot. That feels like a buff. Or I'm sorry. That feels like a nerf. But I'm going to have to break it down further. But yeah, so overall, Symmetra is definitely nerfed. Torby, we got primary fire recovery reduced from 0.6 to 0.55. And fire recovery reduced from 0.8 to 0.7. So a little bit of a buff for Torby. Nothing major. Time of fall off target when not in line of sight reduced from 3 to 2. Somewhat minor. Mercy no longer can be cancelled using crouch for a big vertical boost. Oh, this is her ult, Guardian Angel. So for Mercy, no longer can be cancelled using crouch for a big vertical boost, and now automatically launches upwards if you reach the end of Guardian Angel. So at the end of her ult, she's flying up into the sky. Angelic Descent will now additionally slow ascend speed if held, not just descend speed. This means you can dampen vertical knockbacks such as Junkrat's Concussive Mine, but also reduce the amount of height that the GA vert boost gives you. I don't know what the hell this means. Alright, now the bugs. Nothing major. You can now avoid teammates. You can now edit crosshairs. You can now skip kill cams and change your in-game skins, victory poses, emotes, as I mentioned earlier. And now for the hero bugs. So let's see, we'll start from the bottom. So Zenyatta, there was a bug where reapplying the Orb of Discord to an enemy would slow the ability icon as blue, or show the ability icon as blue instead of purple. That's interesting. Zarya, they now fixed a bug where Zarya could apply a projection barrier to an ally that was dying, consuming a charge. Fixed a bug where high frequency sounds would get cut off when in stealth mode as Sombra. Fixed a bug where Roadhog could still pull enemies with chain hook after getting stunned, hacked, or slept. That's interesting. Fixed a bug where Orisa's Javelin Spin would not be cancelled by being hacked. Genji fixed a bug where Swift Strike would not reset after a kill and go on cooldown again. So a lot of bugs. Fixed a bug where Genji was not taking the proper amount of damage when using Swift. Doomfist had a couple very minor bugs. One bug that I did notice already just from the new beta that just released on the 28th is when Sombra hacks me, I could still do everything. As Farah, I could still jump, I could still boop her away, I could do everything. So that was interesting. I'm sure that wasn't meant to be. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. We got a couple of known issues here that they're working on that you can see for yourself. But I will make more of these. I'm going to be making a lot more Overwatch content as it's a game I absolutely love. Been playing for a while. Just got back into. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Half their stories, they be made up. I can't believe in cap tragedy.